Should you say I miss you first? Expressing emotions can be daunting, especially when it comes to saying I miss you. This phrase carries emotional weight, signaling vulnerability, longing, and care for another person. But should you be the one to say it first? It depends on several factors, such as the nature of the relationship, your emotional readiness, and your intentions in expressing these feelings. While there's no definitive right or wrong answer, it's important to explore the dynamics involved before deciding whether or not to take that step. Understanding the context. The context of your relationship matters. Are you saying I miss you to a romantic partner, a close friend, or a family member? In established relationships, the phrase might be expected and warmly received. However, if the relationship is new or uncertain, it might evoke different reactions. In a budding romance, being the first to express I miss you can be risky. It can either solidify emotional intimacy or create awkwardness if the other person isn't on the same page. On the other hand, in friendships or familial relationships, it is often less risky to initiate these words. People tend to appreciate expressions of care, even if they aren't expecting it. However, knowing the person's emotional availability and the nature of your relationship is essential. Emotional vulnerability and fear of rejection. Saying I miss you makes you vulnerable because it reveals your emotions openly. For many, the fear of not having those feelings reciprocated is a significant concern. If the other person doesn't respond in the way you hope, it can feel disappointing or even embarrassing. However, vulnerability is not necessarily a bad thing. In meaningful relationships, showing that you care can create deeper bonds and build trust. If you feel emotionally prepared to express how you feel, saying I miss you first can be a step towards strengthening the connection. It's essential to approach it with a mindset of openness, without expecting a particular response in return. This can prevent unnecessary disappointment and allow your words to be a genuine expression of care, rather than a bid for validation. Timing and delivery. The timing of when you say I miss you is just as crucial as the words themselves. Saying it too soon in a new relationship or after a minor separation might come off as intense, while waiting too long could lead to missed opportunities to build emotional closeness. Ideally, the phrase should be used when it feels natural and appropriate based on the flow of your interactions. The way you deliver the message also matters. A text message can seem casual, but it might not convey the full depth of your emotions. A phone call or face-to-face interaction allows for more authenticity, as the other person can hear your tone and see your expression. However, texting I miss you is still valid, especially if that's how you usually communicate. What matters most is that your words come from a place of sincerity. Mutual expectations in relationships. In some relationships, there might be an unspoken expectation of who should express emotions first. If you're always waiting for the other person to say I miss you first, it can create a dynamic where you both hesitate to show vulnerability. Conversely, if you frequently take the initiative, the other person may start to expect it and take your feelings for granted. Striking a balance is crucial. Relationships thrive on mutual effort and shared emotional expression. If you find yourself wondering whether to say I miss you first, ask yourself what you hope to achieve by saying it. If your goal is to let the other person know they are important to you, it's worth taking the emotional risk. But if you are saying it only to gauge their feelings or seek reassurance, it might be helpful to reflect on your motivations. Conclusion. Deciding whether to say I miss you first depends on many variables, including the relationship's dynamics, your comfort level with vulnerability, and the timing of the situation. Ultimately, expressing emotions openly is a personal choice. In meaningful relationships, taking the initiative can deepen emotional intimacy and foster trust. If your feelings are genuine, and you are ready to express them without attachment to a specific outcome, saying I miss you first could be a rewarding experience. However, it's essential to do so with self-awareness and respect for the other person's emotional boundaries. Whether or not they respond in the way you expect, expressing how you feel is always a step towards authentic connection.